Alright, hey you guys, I'm back with another video. Today I'll be talking to you all about abusive relationships. It's sort of a story time slash, like, I don't know, just having a chit chat with y'all about such a serious topic that a lot of people I feel take lightly. I'm not ashamed of things that I went through. For what? It is what it is. It's life. It happens to a lot of people. The way I see it, you gotta be able to stand in your truth. You're keeping it real with yourself and you stand in your truth. It ain't nothing nobody can use against you because you owning up to your shit. I want to start off giving you like some signs on a person being, like some signs that a person might be abusive. My experience, I've had a lot of experiences with narcissists. And that term is thrown around so loosely nowadays. People just call people narcissists just because. But the truth is, I'm an empath. So usually people like me attract people like that. That person might start off very charming and sweet and loving. They might actually even try to move really fast with you, talking for a month and they already expressing love for you or to you, and talking about marriage, talking about having kids with you, and they just move really fast. They try to suck you in really fast. The faster the better for them. Loving, and you begin to think that they're everything that you want in somebody. Everything you could ever want in somebody, that's what they're going to be. Especially if you're already giving them the blueprint, like you're telling them, everything that you want in a person. They're going to be exactly that. And once they feel like they have hooked you in and you have fallen for them, they switch. Just like that. They become a person you never thought they would be. They become mean and evil and hateful and mean-spirited. They become all those things, and you're stuck wondering what happened. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about the cycle of abuse. Also because a lot of people who have never been in that type of situation don't understand why people stay in that type of situation, and I'm going to tell you why. Because when you are dealing with an abusive individual, abusive or narcissistic individual, usually, like I said, they start off very charming and to get you, and then once they have you and they have you hooked, and they switch, okay? And so they become this person that you don't even recognize. So then you're stuck wondering what happened. But in the beginning, you got so caught up in who they were then, you got so addicted to that love that they was giving you. When they stop giving it to you, it's almost equivalent to how a drug addict is when they can't get their fix. You see what I'm saying? So when they withdraw that love, you find yourself fighting hard for them to give it back to you. And deep down, you know that they're not right, that you shouldn't be with this person, that you should leave, that you should go the other way, that they're doing things that is detrimental to you and your mental health, your self-esteem, your body, everything. But you stay anyway because you're hoping that they will change and they will revert back to that person that you thought they were from the very beginning. And who they were then is not at all who they really are. That's not who they are at all. Because no matter what happens between you and a person, if y'all have small arguments, that should not cause a person to change their entire personality at all. That's just not normal. That's just not how things work. That's not how normal human beings function, baby. So for about a week or two, that person will change. They will go back to that person that they were in the beginning. So they let you know that they can go back. But after a while, after they have hooked you back in and sucked you back in, they go right back to treating you like shit. You see what I'm saying? And the cycle continues and continues and continues until you break it, until you absolutely say enough is enough. I'm not gonna be treated like this. This is a done deal. I'm out. It's not just physical, it's mental too. There is this thing called emotional abuse. Abuse is not just physical. There are scars that you don't see, and they're up here. In this most recent relationship, I'm gonna call him Ryan. Ryan was sweet. Ryan was everything that my ex wasn't, and I made a terrible mistake of measuring him against somebody else. He was affectionate, he was kind. Like he at some point in time he went above and beyond for me, helping me out, supporting things that I was doing with school, with other things that I wanted to do. Ryan would, when I was having a bad day, Ryan would buy me flowers. Ryan would take me out on dates wherever I wanted to go. And Ryan would take me on trips and things like that. Like, I really, really, really had love for Ryan, and it was genuine, and I just couldn't fake it. Like it like what you saw was what you got. At least with me, I can't say the same for Ryan. I think I also told Ryan about my past and what I had, the issues that I had with my ex and this and that. And I think Ryan tried his best to not be that, even though Ryan really was that on the low. So I think he did all that to hook me in, and he was, just showering me with all this affection and all this love and all this support and all this different kind of stuff, because it's something I wasn't getting and in my previous relationship, and that's why I was so attracted to Ryan. See Ryan on social media. We were friends on just about everything. I thought Ryan was really handsome. I used to look at the things he would write about how men shouldn't cheat on their women and how men shouldn't treat women certain types of ways. So I thought Ryan was a good guy. Ryan had a lot of relationships that played out on social media. Like, I have seen a lot of women come and go on social media when it came to Ryan. I used to wonder, like, dang, like, Ryan can't seem to keep women. Why is that? I used to wonder. I was like, he's handsome. He seems to like have all his screws. Like, he talks with sense. He talks like he treat women with respect and this and that and whoop the woo, and that's just what I thought, just because that's what I was seeing on social media. And I was fooled. Like, social media can really fool you, okay? Just because people talk the talk don't mean they actually walking the walk in real life. And apparently Ryan was not walking the walk. He wasn't about that life. But he had a lot of girlfriends, and I don't know why it didn't dawn on me that maybe that's a red flag, that if a person has had like a bunch of girlfriends or boyfriends, that all the relationships have played out over on social media, and you are seeing this people just coming and going, keep coming and going, something may not be right with that person. They the common denominator, not the other people, because these other people have moved on. They've been in stable relationships since then. Why hasn't Ryan been in, why isn't Ryan somewhere in a stable relationship? It's because Ryan isn't stable minded. And as I go on with this story, you'll see that Ryan is not quite stable. In my last relationship, in the relationship before Ryan, I was a firecracker. I used to catch dude cheating, and we used to square up, because I used to go at him. I used to fight him. He used to fight me too. We used to fight each other. Sometimes he would throw the first punch. Sometimes I would throw the first punch. And it wasn't right. And when I saw that he wasn't a good dude, I should have just, backed away from that situation. I just want to give a little backstory on that so you'll understand events that are to come in this story. It was just a really bad relationship, and it was mainly because he would provoke me, or like he would antagonize the situation, or he would just do really childish stuff to like get me amped up on purpose. It was just on some evil shit, and then play victim and then act like I was crazy, or that like or like I was crazy, or he was the victim, or shit like that. Things were going well with me and Ryan. We were going on dates. We were hanging out together. We were just doing a lot of stuff. We was having fun. Like, we were vibing. Like, it was good. Like, we would talk about everything, and it was just, as far as I knew, as far as I thought I knew, everything was on the table with us. Like, there were no secrets. We told each other everything that we needed to know about each other. That's what I thought. From a girl that he was previously talking to before me, which come to find out he wasn't actually ever out of contact with her. They were still seeing each other, and I'll get to that later as well. She came forward and said that she was having a baby and the baby might be his. Okay, so he came to me and he told me, and I told him, look, I don't want a man with children, and I don't have any kids. I really like you. I hate that. I really hated that I was gonna stop talking to him about that because of that. Because it did happen before me. So that's the only reason that we did start back talking, and plus the baby wasn't his. He was mad at me because he felt like I shouldn't leave him over something like that, something that happened before me, and it just wasn't anything personal against that situation. It's just that I don't want a man with children. I'd rather not talk to you because that's not what I want for my life. Ryan actually confessed to me that him and her were actually trying to have that baby together purposely before he and I got together. And I said, why, were y'all in a relationship? He said, no, we weren't. We were just fooling around. We were just talking. I remember asking him, why would you have a baby by a girl that you're not even with? Like, what is that about? You know? And it wasn't because I was judging him, but it's just like, why would you have a baby by somebody that you're not even in a relationship with? Y'all just kicking it. Y'all just talking. It ain't even like nothing serious. Y'all ain't even solidified. It ain't no commitment there. Is that even somebody that you would even marry? Like, why would you do that? I don't know. He went on to say that after he broke up with his ex, he was doing a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of reckless things and this and that. That's another thing. He talked about his ex nonstop, but not in a good way. It was just like in a very derogatory, negative way. Supposedly everybody that he has been with has done him wrong in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I don't believe that. Everybody is not to blame, especially if you've had a million women and hello, none of them worked out for some reason, and now I know the reason why. So that was red flag number one. Why would a guy intentionally try to have a baby with a girl that they're not even with, not even in a relationship with? You don't plan on marrying her, having no type of future with her. Actually said the girl was crazy, said she was weird, something wrong with her. His sister even confirmed it, and I was just like, whatever, this is a shit show. I don't want to be a part of it. So I ended up staying. I decided to, give him a second chance. The baby wasn't him, so it was just like, let me just keep going, see how things work with us. Red flag number two. One time, and when we had our first argument, I want to say it was over something petty, I think we argued about some milk or something like that. He drank a certain type of milk that I couldn't drink due to allergies. He wouldn't reason with me. I was trying to tell him, look, both of these milks taste the same, so I just wondering, could we get this kind of milk because it bothers me. I don't want to reason with me or meet me halfway or anything like that. So that was like our first argument. He broke up with me. He blew up. He had the worst temper tantrum I had ever seen a grown ass man have ever. He packed his stuff up. He didn't live with me. He was just staying the weekend with me at that point. He packed his stuff up. He left. He stormed out. He screamed. He hollered. And the whole time I was just sitting there like, wow, it's not even that serious. We just having a little argument about milk. Like, my God, this is not even worth having a breakup over for you storming out and you acting like, I at one point I even told him, look, I don't like how hostile you being, because to me your body language is saying that you want to fight. You know what I'm saying? So that made him even more upset. Anyway, he left, and I don't even know how we ended up having a discussion. I want to say the next day. He texted me or something like that, and we talked about it or whatever. And so that should have been strike two, because he had really bad anger issues. I remember one time in particular, I was always very calm, actually. I was always very calm, and I wanted to reason with him and talk about it in a mature adult fashion, like adults do, like normal people do. But he was just off the rocker. Like, he was just I just can't even explain it. Sometimes the outbursts were scary. There was one time in particular we were having a disagreement. It wasn't even an argument, and we were outside talking, and I went to his mama's house, and because at the time that's where he was living or whatever, and I went to his mama's house, and we talked about it. He came to the car, and I was just explaining to him how I felt about that particular situation, and he wasn't having it. He wasn't trying to hear it. He wasn't trying to listen to it. Honey, he blew up. He slammed the door, stormed in the house. It was crazy. I pulled out of the driveway. I left, and I was about to go to work. Actually, I didn't. Yeah, I was about to go to work, and he called me back. He was like, turn around. So I came back to see what he wanted, and he was just like, he's sorry for blowing up like that, and he was like, I know I have issues, and I know I have stuff that I need to work on, and I'm going to try to get better. I'm going to try to do better, and I'm trying to be a better person. I know that I have issues. I know I got anger issues. It's not the first time I've ever heard that before. So I was just very glad to hear him admit that. But, however, hearing him admit it and him actually doing the changing was two different things, because he never changed. In fact, he got worse, like way worse. Now, this is where shit got real. We moved into, I want to say we were together for a year about at this point, and we moved in a place together. We were excited about the place. We had been waiting forever and ever and ever for the people to get the place ready for us to move in. And finally we moved in, and everything was cool for a minute. We would have our little arguments, and the arguments we would have were always small things. It was always little bitty stuff. And to me, it would be little bitty stuff like milk and just little stuff that, and he would blow up about it. You would think that I had cheated on him or something. You would think that I done stole some money from him or something like that. That's the way he treated every situation. You know what I'm saying? I would always be the one trying to fix the situation, solve this and resolve the situation, and so we could be at peace with each other. But sometimes he just wasn't that cooperative. His birthday had came around, so I had took him out to, I had told him that I was going to take him to like a nice fancy restaurant, get dressed up, and you know, that type of thing. For some reason we ended up not going there, so I took him to a Japanese restaurant, and we ate. And so I had shared something on Facebook. Mind you, the whole time we were at the table, he was on his phone the whole time, and I was just asking him, can you put your phone up? Can we, you know, we could just enjoy we could just celebrate your birthday or whatever. So he just refused to do that. He had like, he was irritated because I asked him to put his phone up. But then I had it was something I had shared on my Facebook earlier about cheating or something like that. At the time, I didn't even know this man was cheating on me. So that for him to act this way, it was a dead giveaway. This is a person who has accused me of doing everything under the sun. A person that's highly insecure. Every time a guy would even look at me or try to talk to me, it was my fault. If you had more than that, then they wouldn't have tried to talk to you. If you hadn't been bent over like that, they wouldn't have tried to talk to you. It was just insane, the shit that I used to go through with him. Like, I was just accused of doing everything was my fault. Even other people's action was my fault, and we used to have to argue about that. It's like, damn, if you feel that way, honey, why don't you go get you somebody unattractive, and you won't have to have these insecurities. And that's not me boasting or nothing like that, but I just don't feel like I'm a bad looking person. And it seems as if my looks was an issue for him. But now that I think back on it, he was insecure like that because he was doing stuff. He was doing a whole lot of stuff behind my back. And so for his birthday, he got mad about something that I shared on my page about cheating. So he got up from the table, he stormed out of the restaurant, and he went to the car. I just sat there. I was upset. I was literally about to cry. So I just got up and I paid for my stuff and I left. And we didn't talk no more for the rest of the night. I think I cried all night long. It really hurt my feelings because I had such a hard time trying to find somebody to work for me that day, and trying to get stuff set up to where I could take him out. I didn't really have. I had just got through paying bills and all that stuff, and then I had some other unexpected things to come up that took away from my money. So the fact that I even took my money, or the little money that I did have after other stuff that I had going on, to pay for your dinner for your birthday, is and for you to act so ungrateful is just it just really hurt my feelings. He tried to have sex with me, and I'm just like, do you not see me here crying and you trying to have sex? Like, it was just the most selfish shit ever. So I kind of moved him off of me, and he proceeded to push me into the dresser at least 10 times. At that point, I didn't even have the strength to fight back, because I recall in my last relationship, whenever I did fight my ex, whenever I would fight him back, I was always to blame for it. I was always the crazy one. I was always the villain. He was the victim. And so I said, if I put my hands on him back, that's going to escalate the situation. That's going this is my mind at the time. After he was, after when it was going on. So if I put my hands on him, this could escalate the situation. He has a really bad temper. He could try to kill me, or, we do live in this house together. He could do anything to me, and who would know? Who would be here to help me? Nobody. Would nobody know? And I just remember not doing nothing. I ain't do shit. Like, I just let it happen, knowing that the girl I used to be would have probably squared up on him. But it's like, you damned if you do something, you damned if you don't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it wasn't no winning, so I just went to sleep. So after that, there was another time that we had an argument, and he went back home to get something, and we hadn't talked all day. He came back and he was talking about leaving and packing his stuff and going home, and I was just like, okay, well, let's just talk about whatever it is, whatever we was into it about. I was just like, okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the situation. I'm getting my stuff and I'm leaving, and I want my rent money back. I said, no, I'm not giving you no rent money back until we talk about it. He said, you're not going to give me what back? And he proceeded to walk up on me. Like, I believe this the day he going to really try to square up on me. You pushed me into the dresser about a week ago, at least several times. And so what you going to do now? You just done walked up on me, and then I realized that he had been drinking. Like, he had been drinking a lot of beers and stuff. And so I'm assuming he was kind of drunk too. And so he walked up on me like he was in a fight or something. And I just remember looking at him like, what the hell you doing? Or I was just wondering what the hell he was about to do. He proceeded to grab my phone, and wow, he proceeded to grab my phone and pushed me on the floor, twisted my arm all the way back, and sat on me. And somehow he ended up dragging me on the carpet, because I still got that scar right here. Like, I don't even know if y'all can see that. It's kind of old now, but yeah, proceeded to drag me on the carpet, and I just couldn't even believe that he did that, for real. I don't know why I was in shock, because a week before that, he pushed me into the dresser several times. So why am I surprised that he drug me on the carpet like that, or that he twisted my arm and almost broke it? Could have broke it. I'm just laying there screaming, get off of me. He won't do it. That was a night I should have left him then. Actually, that's the night he should have went to jail. Next 2 days, Ryan was helping his mama move into another place. He went home to help her move, and I told Ryan came back to the house, and I told him I made up some excuse as to why we couldn't live there no more. I told him I can't afford it, and I want to go home and focus on trying to get back in school. That was my excuse. I had to say that so it wouldn't just be some big argument, even though it ended up being that anyway. And so when I moved back home, no, I told Ryan, I said I need a break. Before we left, before we started to move out, I told him I need a break. Ryan was mad because I told him I needed a break. I needed a break, guys. I was mentally drained. Just mentally drained. I just couldn't take no more of it. You know what I'm saying? Just the constant nagging and the accusations, the insecurities, the anger outbursts, the temper tantrums, the silent treatments, the gaslighting. I couldn't take the shit no more. He proceeded to get his stuff. He didn't even get none of my stuff at all. I have a small Nissan Sentra. I have a lot of clothes and a lot of shoes and a lot of everything else in between, and none of this stuff was all of that stuff was not gonna fit in my little car. He had a truck with a trailer. He had all the moving utensils to get everything, and he didn't even help me get none of my stuff. He didn't help me get none of my stuff. He got all his stuff and went home. He left me there. I called my mama. I said, Mama, will you come help me get my stuff? Ryan just left me here with all my stuff. He was mad because I told him that I needed a break. I needed a mental break. And my mama was pissed the fuck off, y'all. I hadn't seen my mama like, I don't think I hadn't seen her go off on somebody like that in so long. She was very neutral in that relationship with me and him, you know. She was very neutral. She knew when things were going on, but she was very neutral. She stayed out of it. But at that point, she just felt like, I guess she felt like a bitch ass move for him to just leave me there with all my stuff just because I said I wanted a break. Just a break. That's it. I wouldn't even ask him to break up. I just needed a break. So she texted him, and she texted him a really hot message that made the situation worse. At the time, I was kind of mad at her for sending it, but now I just really couldn't. I really don't give a damn. He whatever verbal ass whooping she gave him, he deserved it, because honestly and truly, that was a bitch ass move. I just feel like regardless of whether you and your partner having problems or not, you gotta remain loyal. Like, loyalty is everything. This man has no loyalty, no integrity, no nothing. He just left me there with all my stuff. I just can't see no man, like a real man, leaving a woman there with all their stuff. I had to wait on my mama until 10 o'clock at night. 10 o'clock at night. My mama had to work the next day. He came back with his folks. They helped him get all his stuff. I even talked to them, and I told them what was going on, because we kind of talked. Me and his sister kind of talked a little bit, and his mama had something smart to say in the background, and I was just like, okay, I'm over all of y'all at this point, because there's no way that you could feel like what he did was right. They don't you know, they kind of uphold him. They kind of feeding the monster, to be honest, because honestly, he kind of treated them like shit too. Like, I mean, he would talk to them any kind of way and treat them any kind of way. And when he's with a new girl and she has a family, he was more for them than he was for them. And I used to try to tell him, look, that's, you know, don't do that. You know, you need to be, you know, you don't need to put me and my mom before your own mom. That don't look right. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I was trying to drift him away from his people. That, from my understanding, that's his pattern. That's what he does when he gets with somebody. He does that. So he's abusive to them too. He left me there. A couple days later, he actually had an episode where he fainted. And he told me, he said, I feel like I fainted because of you. I feel like you wish something bad on me. Come here. Let me ask y'all something. What kind of person in their right mind say some shit like that, right? What normal person says stuff like that? What normal person says stuff like that? Huh? Okay. After after that, I had started to become very depressed. I had started to become very depressed, very anxious. I was not, I was very depressed, very anxious. I wasn't even myself no more. I didn't feel like myself no more. I was unhappy. I was unhappy with him, unhappy with the situation. And the whole time I was just thinking, man, I gotta find a way to like get out of this relationship so it won't hurt so bad for me. You know, it just hurts because I love him and I don't want to leave him, but he's not good for me. I want to say it was like 2 weeks that I really wasn't fucking with him like that. Like, we would talk and I remember being just real dry with him, and I didn't really have too much conversation for him. I was just to myself. I didn't even want to be around him. I didn't even want to have sex with him. I was just like trying to ease myself out of the situation. That was me trying to ease back out of that situation. Knowing that I have anxiety issues, it would always be thrown back in my face that's the reason why I would act out, which I never acted out. He tried to use that narrative to make me sound crazy. Every time I wanted to talk about things that were hard for him to talk about, it would always be thrown in my face that you just acting up because your anxiety is acting up and you need to take your medicine. So when we finally broke up, and I'm gonna tell y'all how we broke up. I told him that I was depressed and my anxiety was acting up, and I was just down and I just couldn't take anymore, and that I just needed some peace in my life. He told me that I'm just seeking attention, I'm just seeking sympathy. Nothing. I couldn't believe that this man had told me that me being at that point in my life is because of me, which it was because of me. And you know why it was because of me? It's because I chose to be in that position. I knew I wasn't happy in that relationship. I knew that person wouldn't treat me right. I knew that relationship was pretty much dead, and I stayed because I was trying to give it CPR. I knew how this person was. I knew they had issues. I knew they could never love me the way I needed to be loved. I knew they could never be that person that they was in the beginning, but I was making my life not peaceful by staying with him. I was bringing chaos into my life by staying with him. He was the chaos. I was bringing him into my life. I was keeping him into my life, and I knew it was not good for me. I knew it was detrimental. I knew it was causing me harm, causing me pain, causing me agony, causing me to have sleepless nights, causing me to have panic attacks, anxiety, depression, all this different kind of stuff. And I stayed because I let what I thought was love overpower my common sense. I let what I thought was love for a man to overpower the love that I have for myself. The only thing I regret doing is having a conversation with one of the girls. Because I went to thinking like, I wonder did he really cheat on me? And it was just a thought in my mind that wouldn't go away. I remember having a conversation with her. And I actually went to her house. Yes, I went to this bitch house, y'all. She invited me over there. She said, come on, we can talk over here. So I went over there. She made a point to tell me, which this had nothing to do with anything. It had nothing to do with the conversation. When I walked in, she made a point to tell me, I ain't but such and such age and I'm on my shit. And I'm thinking to myself, why are you telling me that? I didn't say nothing though, but that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, thank you for telling me that, but I don't give a fuck. She was just telling me how he was buying her food, Chinese food, and I'm just like, is that all? Is that all he was doing? Is that what it took to impress you? And is that what all it took to get in your drawers with some Chinese food? She was like, she said something about, he was talking about leaving me for her. And he told her don't do that because she wouldn't want to do another woman like that. Well, sis, you already kind of crossed the line when you approached him, and when you had sex with him, you already kind of crossed the line, and he already crossed the line. So both of y'all already crossed that line, so I don't understand what you mean by you won't want to do another person like that, because you kind of contradicting yourself at this point. She was saying something about he told her that I was broke and I didn't have any money. You guys, I'm not even the type of person that sits and brag about what I make and what I do and what I'm about to do, and it's just not important, because if you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't, and it is what it is. I don't have nothing to prove to the world. But at the time, I was actually making more money than him. At the time, he was actually the one who was always broke, because he didn't spend his money wisely. And he wanted to spend his money on what he wanted to spend it on, and then when he didn't have no more money, he wanted to ask me and his family members and everybody else for money, and it didn't work like that. And I wasn't going for that. I just was not going. I just told him no. So she said what she had to say, and I was like, okay. I took it all in. I said, thank you. Thank you for telling me, thank you. That's what I asked for. And so I left. That was it. So the next day, she had started to like throw shade and stuff on Facebook. And you know what? I ain't say nothing or whatever. So I ain't even say nothing. Just it is what it is. That girl, as I was talking to her, I could tell that some screws was loose anyway. Like someone right about her. Like it was just. She was just very ratchet. Me and her just wasn't here, is what I'm saying. We just weren't here. And so it just was like, what's the point? Like, what's the point in arguing with somebody I'm not here with? That's insane, okay? So I was just like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So come to find out, her friend actually slept with him too. Well, he was cheating with her and her friend. Like he slept with both of them, and both of them knew about each other. And he also slept with the girl that was claiming that she had the baby by him. Okay, so he had 3 women under his belt. So they just hopped in my inbox and they was just asking me, am I talking about them, and is my status about them, and is this something you need to ask me? And I'm just like, hold on, stop the press. Now, I let y'all sneak this and I let y'all, but y'all hopping in my inbox, and this is a whole different ball game right now, baby. Somebody read me the screenshot of him and the other girl conversation. He was calling me bitches and hoes and talking about how he don't fuck with me no more, and just ignore me because they was going back telling him that I was going around telling people certain stuff. And I'm just like, I ain't even talked to nobody. The last person I had a conversation with was the other girl. So once they jumped in my inbox, once again, something went off in my head and I snapped. And I wrote up a nice little status. And it was a very, very, very mean status. After I said what I had to say, I was done. I didn't give a fuck what their response was. I didn't give a fuck what his response was. I was done with it because I felt like I had said what I needed to say. So after that was it. And I mean, that's the end of that story. And so if you are in an abusive situation right now, and some of this stuff that you can kind of relate to, I can't tell you to leave them. That's something you have to do on your own. But I just want you to understand why you are still there. Like, you're in it because they're constantly drawing you back in. They're constantly drawing you back in. And you're letting them do it. It's a cycle. I want you to ask yourself, I must not feel like I deserve better. I must not think that there is better out there. Do I think that this is what all men or all women should do? I have news for y'all. For y'all, that person is not going to change, ever. They're going to promise you that they're going to change. They're going to lie to you like they're going to change. They're going to sell you a lot of dreams. But if you ever noticed, months will go by and they still have not changed. They will not change. Not for you, not for nobody, not until they want to change. Now, if it's a narcissist you're dealing with, to my understanding, and this is coming from professional people, professional psychologists, psychiatrists have said that these people cannot change. period. That's a personality disorder. So if you're dealing with that kind of person, they'll never change. But so many women and people in general have died due to domestic violence. You need to take your life seriously. Don't take this with a grain of salt. It could be you're bitches and hoes one day, and you ain't shit, and you ain't this, and you don't do that, and it could be emotional abuse one day. It could be a busted lip the next day. It could be a busted nose. It could be your life the next day. Think about that. But what I'm most grateful for is that I can sit here and talk about this. That I can sit here and give people tell people I don't even know my experience. I can sit here and be a testimony for other people that's been in the same situation, that is in this situation right now, and possibly help somebody. And if I can help one person, that would make me feel great. I'm sorry if this video was so long, y'all, but it was a lot to be said, and it's a serious topic. It's a very serious topic, and I feel like I want to touch on everything. So, with that being said, you guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for riding it out with me for however long this video will be. And stay tuned for the next video, and I will talk to you guys later.